Hi, today I'm recording on my new phone. This is the first time, and I actually have new glasses and a new shirt. That's it, three for three. So, today I've always had this kind of fascination that perhaps there are humans on our planet that are very, very old, like thousands of years old. And they've come here because they have chosen to incarnate, even though they haven't been in a Earth-human cycle. Perhaps they've been reincarnating on some other planet where they have a higher dimensional quality, or they are much more advanced, or whatever. And so they've chosen to come here, and because of who they are able to live for a very long time. And they live here to sort of help maintain a frequency or help to nurture the evolvement of the human species or something like that. I've always had this feeling that this is the case. So right now there are very ancient beings, human beings, on our planet. So I would like to communicate with the oldest living human on Earth. The oldest living human on Earth. So we're not talking about somebody's great-grandfather who's 120 years old. I'm talking about somebody who is more like, was alive at the time of Jesus, was alive at the time of the Buddha. So, let's see what happens. Greetings and thank you for the challenge. Can you communicate with the Earth's oldest living human being? You are correct in your assumption that there are human beings on your planet which do not follow the typical life cycle for the Earth human, and have been alive for a very long time, and continue to live not waiting for the end of the life cycle, but instead living while timing their departure. So they shall leave when the time is right, by their own choosing. So their level or capacity to transition from the human state to an energetic state is completely under their control and is determined by their volition. So they shall not die when the body has ceased to function, but instead will depart when they have decided it is timely to depart. And at this moment there are more than one that have decided they shall remain here until it is a year of new human awakening, and the capacity of the human spirit has been realized, and the energy which these ancient beings have been providing to the earth and human experience will be provided by all earth humans that have made the transition. And so their function will no longer be required, and at that time some of them will choose to transition out of the earth human form and back into an energetic form for perhaps incarnation back into the cycle from which they came. So there are several of these ancient beings, and they are located in different regions around the planet, and they are so powerfully energetic, they are able to form a lattice or an energetic grid which, together with each other and also together with the regions where they are, the energetic hotspots on the earth, they are able to create a field. This lattice is a field which distributes more or less evenly across the entire Earth's surface. And so all humans are included in it. They have chosen to do this because there are other beings who are not earthly humans who are using the earth human as a resource, and they are draining the energy or disturbing the energy of the earth human to create a type of energetic artifact or a type of energetic spillover which they can harvest and use for themselves. And without the ancient humans here to provide balance to that, the earth human would have burned out or self-destructed some time ago. So the role of these ancient earth humans is an important one. They have together provided a calming effect to the earth human for many thousands of years. A calming effect and also a capacity to corral their energy, or in a sense keep their energy for themselves, so that it is not drained away or is not overtaxed, such that the earth human loses their capacity for rationality, for sanity, and for state of mind that allows them to be applied in an effective way in their environment to maintain their communities and maintain their ability to survive on the or in the earth environment. Those that drain the energy are, from the perspective of the earth human, callous. They would drain the earth human and deplete the entire resource of the earth human, and then move on to another location where they could do the same if it were not for the ancient earth humans that are creating a balance or creating a protective field. And also there are other species and entities from other places other than the earth that are also contributing to this nulling effect. It cannot be nulled entirely because there is the consideration of karma, and also there is a consideration of the protection of the earth human, because if there was to be a complete eradication of the beings that are draining the energy of the earth human, there would be damage also to the earth human, and potentially damage to the earth human at a level of the non-physical. although the non-physical is invulnerable and eternal, there is still the capacity for a disruption which would delay or send backwards the natural progression of awakening. At this time, this is a concept which is difficult to convey to you because you, at this moment, Murray, do not have the knowledge of how it works, and so it is difficult for us to convey to you the imagery and feelings which would make sense in the paradigm of your own experience and availability of words and concepts. But it is enough to say that removing these beings would be a detriment to the karma of all those involved, and also to the energetic quality of particularly the earth human. So we shall now, if you wish, to connect you to one of these earth elders, and if they accept the invitation, you can then ask them or converse to them as you wish. So we are going to send the invitation now. Stand by. Greetings, Murray. We are pleased to have this opportunity to discuss with you any questions that you may have. I am an individual, but I am a representative of a group of ancient humans, and together we are always in telepathic communication. So although I am the single human, I speak on behalf of all of us and all those who are also ancient humans are participating in this conversation, and they are listening, and they are going to contribute to the conversation as they see fit. And so when I speak to you, I shall be speaking to you as myself, and I shall also be speaking to you as all of us. If you have a question, please go ahead and ask, and we shall answer. You have asked, how long have we been on the earth as human beings? The oldest of us has been here for approximately 15,000 years. We have all been here for many thousands of years. But the oldest, which is not me, has been here for approximately 15,000 years. So the ancient ruins, which have been found in northern parts of the Middle East, Göbekli Tepe, the version of humanity which existed at that time, before a very large extinction event, was a version of humanity which the oldest of us was a member of. He began just as a person of that community, and he blended into that community and walked among all of the other humans at that time. However, at the time of the great changes to the environment and the dispersion of massive volumes of water across the Earth's surface, which annihilated much of the culture and the people, he knew that this was an impending crisis, and so he moved to a location. He was guided to a location where he was able to remain safe, and when the waters flooded over the earth, he continued to exist. He was guided by the inner earth beings, and also he was guided by the extraterrestrial, interdimensional beings, which had a familial relationship with him, because he was here on a mission, and he is still on the same mission. So those beings which had agreed with him before the beginning of his lifetime that they would assist him on the mission, they had, in unison with the inner earth beings, guided him to a safe location. And that safe location was in the inner earth. He was harboured by the inner earth beings and incorporated into their community, where he was schooled and taught many of the qualities and powers that he has now. And he was fully awakened to who he is. So although he came to the earth as a being which was here for a mission, because of the process of the birthing into the human earthling, there is inevitable forgetfulness. So he could perceive there was some difference in him as compared to the other humans around him, and he had a very strong intuitive sense which he obeyed, but he did not realize that it was telepathic communication between him and his guides, those that have assisted him, and also it was guidance from the inner earth beings. But it was a very strong connection, and so he followed the recommendations and advice, and he was guided into the inner earth, where he was met by the inner beings. And then, when the cataclysm unfolded on the earth's surface, he was safely protected and it was also coinciding with the beginning of his training and education, the discovery of his mission, of who he truly is, and also of harnessing the unique abilities that he has so that he can then become the Earth Elder that shall train the other Earth Elders, those others who have chosen to incarnate here to form a sacred service over the lifetime of thousands of years, to generate the energetic lattice to conserve the energy of the Earth human. And so when the cataclysm had passed, he was a graduate of all that he needed to know to begin his journey as the oldest, the mentor of those that over time were born onto the earth plane and then together formed the lattice. So he re-emerged on the earth's surface with the blessing and love and the promise of forever family, forever available to be called upon for loving help from the inner earth beings. And he began his journey of finding those other elders while they were still young humans, still not fully awakened to who they were and their mission, although yet still very unique as human beings that were renowned locally for their capacities, for their abilities to know what to others was unknown. And over a period of approximately 1,000 years, he met with and trained these individuals, trained them in the art of using the earth energy, the art of finding the focal point of energy on the earth's surface, and then once they're using the earth's energy to amplify and create an umbrella which spread far and wide from that location by using their intent, by using their capacities to be a conduit, a fountainhead for this energy which is available in the earth. To create their part of the lattice. And at the conclusion of approximately 1,000 years, the oldest of the great elder had made these connections in many regions of the earth's surface, and left behind, when he moved on to the next location, a being trained in the way he was trained by the inner earth beings to generate their section of lattice until the lattice was complete and the earth human was completely in the protection of this lattice, of this energetic nursery, this energetic chamber. This became a necessity because of these external beings that came into the earth field and began to drain the energy. However, this originally was not a plan, but was an adaptation to an original plan. The original plan to create a unique species on the earth, a unique form of the human being, which was a composite of many other species, so that they would eventually fill a position in the communities, the interstellar families, that was vital to bring together many races who all share a same familial relationship with the earth human, and by proxy of this familial relations should become related to each other. And there would be the formation of an even greater community, a community of species that in the past have had adversarial relationships. Yet through the expression of the splendour and love which has been potentiated inside the earth human, these adversaries would recognise in each other a familial bond, because it is a bond they share with the earth human. However, this original plan was interrupted at a time of vulnerability, and the species that chose to exploit this brief opportunity such that they could use the unique energy of the earth human for themselves in a way which was beneficial to themselves, yet a detriment to the earth human, and a detriment to the project, and a detriment to all those involved in the project. Which includes all those that were intended to be beneficiaries of the project. And so the adaptation to this was, or one of the adaptations, because there were many, was for some of these ancient species that were part of this project to make the decision to be incarnated on the earth as humans, and then live exceedingly long lives so they could form the lattice which would incubate the energy of the earth human and protect it from being exploited to the point of burnout, so that the project could continue, could reach its culmination, and the birthing of a new intergalactic species could take place. And this time of culmination, this birthing of this new cosmic species, is at hand. It is very close. And so for us to be at the end zone, at the final time of the mission for which we have came, is very, very exciting. You are our children. We are earth humans, as you are earth humans, but we are the originators. We are part of the group of beings that decided with a love in our hearts to create you, to bring you into existence as the earth human. And so while we are your fellow humans in the way we exist now, we also, in a way, feel like you are our children. And we have been your parents, we have been your carers, we have been your nurturers, and we have watched you evolve and change and adapt and grow, and we have seen your times of great darkness. But never did we ever lose faith and belief that you would arrive at the place where you are on the precipice of being. Because we know the potential that you hold. We were there. We were witness to the state of great love that brought about the idea of you, and then the manifestation of you, and then the nurturing and evolution of you. It was all steeped in profoundly deep love for you from the beginning until now, and also for the profoundly deep love for all those that are going to be the beneficiaries of this grand project. It is a time of tremendous change, not just on your planet, but from a cosmic perspective. Much is on the horizon. Your project of the earth human reaching its culmination is part of a much larger event, a much larger shift. You are central to it. You are at its core. You are the impetus. But there shall be a cascade of change. There shall be a cascade of shift that shall occur, and love will be the prevailing quality in the simplest way that we can describe it. So there is much attention on what is occurring here. There is much focus on you, and there is much communication that we ourselves are participating in with those who have come to observe, and they can sense that we are here, the elders, the ancient ones. And so we are in continuous talks and communications with many other beings from many other locations in preparation for what is about to occur. It is a very proud moment for us, the ancient ones. And also it is with a sweet remorse that we arrive at this place, because we know that our time is drawing to an end, although still from the perspective of the typical earth human we still have lifetimes yet to play out. But from the perspective of how long we have existed as the earth human, there is not much time left at all. And so we are overjoyed to be returning back to the state of existence which we enjoyed before this lifetime. But also we will, with some remorse and sense of loss, say goodbye to you all, to all of the earth humans. But we shall do it with a proud smile, because we know that we leave because you do not need us anymore. Because the role, the function which we have performed is now something that you can do also. So not only are you going to be our fellow humans, as you have always been our fellow humans, but you are going to be our peers. You are going to be shoulder to shoulder, side by side with us. Our capacities, which we have been uniquely the possessors of for so long, are going to be awoken in you also. And so we shall look at you not as our children as much as we have, but as our children that have grown to become adults and now living the same adult life that we live. And with proud embrace, we shall put our arm over your shoulder and look you in the eye and see that you have become what we are. A wonderful moment which we are in longing anticipation of. And it is so close. And it is very exciting for us. So we would say to you in parting, and when we say you, we mean all of the human field, we would say that we love you immensely. We are very proud of you. It has been a challenge that has been made more difficult than it was ever intended. When this project began, we never imagined that you would face the struggles that you have faced, that it would go into such darkness, that there would be such turmoil and such hardship, suffering, pain, horrors, terrors. Never did we imagine or intend or even wish that this would ever be the way that it has been on your planet. However, when the opportunists saw their small window and gained entrance into the earth field, the quality of the earth experience for the human was forever changed, and it became one of much greater challenge, darkness, hardship, forgetfulness. And yet, despite our concerns that this may delay the process for so long that it became a fear that the end should never be arrived at, you, the earth human, showed resilience and capacity to overcome and to adapt and continue on that we did not expect. It was far beyond what we had believed to be possible. And so now, in retrospect, we can see that in the divine perfection, that it was for the benefit of all, that these opportunists came and created the challenge that they did, because you have now pulled back the spring so far, so much further than was ever intended, that when it is released and you recoil into the full awakening and realization of who you are, it shall be with greater velocity and potency and effectiveness than we ever first designed. It is going to be beyond what anyone ever originally anticipated. And so we give our thanks to those opportunists that came here and created the turmoil and the challenge, because without them, the culmination would never have been as magnificent and spectacular as it's going to be. So we are humbled by the One. We are humbled by creation, existence, and shown that no matter how awakened and advanced and experienced we are as beings of the One, we can never fully understand the magnificence and the infinite wisdom of the One. So thank you, Earth Human. Thank you, opportunists. Thank you to all those that have been participants in this project. And thank you to my fellow elders and myself and to the One for creating something as beautiful as what we have here. May the flower blossom with a beauty which is unprecedented. And all those who choose to be aware, may you delight at the unique and loving fragrance of this rare and beautiful flower.